It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. And now here's your host, Geno Jones.
It's the weekend. It's a Friday. Yay, it's Friday edition of, you got it, the Geno Jones Show. Yes, I am Geno, and I come to you live, right here, live on my YouTube channel, Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Central, 3:30 p.m. on the West Coast. Please, you and everybody you know and don't know, strangers, co-workers, church members, colleagues, folks you don't like, aliens, it doesn't matter. Everybody you know, strangers on the subway, on the L, on the commuter train, all of that. When you're shopping, I need you to tell everybody that you know and don't know to subscribe to the Geno Jones channel. It is simply the best and the baddest in the business, ladies and gentlemen. And share this and every episode, and like every episode, if you'd like to be a sponsor or advertise on the Geno Jones Show, I'd love to have you. I'd be honored to have you, ladies and gentlemen. If you're looking for the ultimate pitch man or brand ambassador to help build your brand, your business, to help you generate sales and revenue, to move your products, goods, and services, I'm the king of pitchmen. You can leave me a message right here on my YouTube channel. You can email me, GenoJonesShow@gmail. That's how you spell Geno Jones Show. The Geno Jones Show brought to you today by Soulful Connections album release party happening November 19th here in the Charleston, South Carolina metro at the La Creme venue. It's like a beautiful, swanky nightclub, bar and grill, real high-end La Creme in North Charleston. Yes, Soulful Connection. Soul, Southern soul and blues artists. They got the hit song called Hey Lil Mama. They were my guest on Wednesday. They'll be back next Thursday. And they got an album release party. The album, BYOB. So today's show is brought to you by Soulful Connections, brand new album and album release party for BYOB. Keela Carson's coming up in moments. We're going to jump the show off, get the monologue going right now. First, let me start off with some good news. Happy birthday to my Scorpios. Tevin Campbell, Mr. Can we talk for a minute? Girl, I want to know your name. See, don't mess around. Boy, I got skills, multiple skills. Don't play with your boy. Repping the South Side, Chi-Town, Inglewood, Hyde Park, Gold Coast. That's how we get down on the Geno Jones Show. Tevin Campbell, happy birthday, Tevin Campbell. He is 45 today. Omarion of B2K, bomb. He is 37. Tamala Jones, no relation. So Tamala Jones, remember Booty Call? Yeah, Booty Call. She was in Booty Call. She was in the movie The Wood. She was in the movie Kingdom Come. Tamala Jones is 47 today. Russell Westbrook, repping my Los Angeles Lakers. I'm a fan of Russell. I'm a Westbrook fan. I'm a Laker. You know, I love the Lakers. Russell's making it a little tough, you know, a little problematic. His game is problematic, but I'm rooting for the brother. Happy birthday, Russell Westbrook. He is 33 today. And tomorrow, on Saturday, Karen Elaine Johnson. That's right, Karen Elaine Johnson. You're saying, okay, who's Karen Elaine Johnson? Whoopi, not like Whoopi. No, I'm like Whoopi Goldberg. Yes, Whoopi is going to be 66 tomorrow. Shout out to all my Scorpios. Happy birthday. Get your celebration on. Have a great time. So let's make a little pivot right here. There's been a lot of courtroom drama this week. Oh my God. The defense lawyer in the Ahmaud Arbery case, he is on some real, why don't you just come in with the hood? Keep the hood on, okay? Like you can say you're wearing a mask. You got a mask and a hood. Just keep the hood on, dude. Are we doing this? So this dude, a defense attorney. Yeah, defense attorney. Now, the jury wasn't in, but, you know, they have cameras in the courtroom in Georgia. So the whole world got to see this dude get up and with his little southern drawl and be like, well, you know, I saw Al Sharpton. As a matter of fact, he called Reverend Al Sharpton Jesse Jackson. That's because, we all look alike. Yeah, we do. He said, well, Jesse Jackson, and we don't need no more black pastors in the courtroom because it could be intimidating the good white folk jury, considering that the jury's made up of all good white folk. I think it got one person of color, as they say, one colored on the jury. Are we doing this in 2021? And in Kenosha, Wisconsin, oh my God, it's not the defense attorney, it's the judge. Wait a minute, Bruce Schroeder. Now, I don't know if him and Ricky Schroeder are related. Now, Ricky Schroeder was at Family Matters. I didn't know he was a white nationalist and a white supremacist till he kind of came out with it. As a matter of fact, he put up a lot of money for the defense team supporting Kyle Rittenhouse. So the judge in the Kyle Rittenhouse trial, Judge Bruce Schroeder, this dude is okay, here's an example. So today, I swear to God, I think dude is drinking on the job. Okay, y'all need to go ahead and test the dude, do a breathalyzer or something. Like when he goes in the judge's chamber, you need to stick that breathalyzer, that dude, blow into it. Cause dude is it was like he was Keith Sweat at a concert on some Ciroc, or Keith Sweat on Versus, like drunk, tipsy, getting a little flipsy off some Ciroc. He was talking about text messages, and I when I get one, I delete it because I don't want to keep it. And you can't enlarge the pictures. If you enlarge it, it distorts it. It's like you're like a retired drunk IT manager or something. What the hell is going on? Now, keep in mind that Kyle Rittenhouse, the 7-year-old, now 18-year-olds from Illinois, Antioch, Illinois, not in Wisconsin. So now keep in mind, this young man, he is a Proud Boy. Now we know the Proud Boys, white nationalist group, white supremacists, domestic terrorists. They were part of the terrorists and the treasonists that stormed the Capitol on January 6th. So he is a proud supporter of the Proud Boys, wannabe Proud Boys, a follower, teenager, 17 now, keep that in mind. He also assaulted a woman months before he went to Kenosha, Wisconsin, shot and killed 2 men, blew off the bicep of another man who's testified in this trial. Now, the judge, Mr. Judge Schroeder, said, oh, no, the prosecution, you can't talk about that. And you can't even call the dead men, the men who are dead, you can't call them victims, but you can call them rioters. And there's no evidence that these men who were murdered were rioting. They had drones, all kind of cameras, security cameras on buildings and businesses. There's no evidence. But the judge says in front of the jury, well, you can't call it. So wait a minute, the 2 men that were murdered and the 1 man that got his bicep blown off, you can't call them victims, but you can call them looters and rioters with no evidence? We really doing that in 2021? Yes, we are doing that. But the judge said, no, you can't mention that to this 17-year-old domestic terrorist. Now, keep in mind, his mama put him in it. So she put him in a car, drove him with an AR-15. First of all, what the hell is a 17-year-old kid doing with an AR-15? Please, somebody tell me what just, I don't like criticizing parents. I really don't. I understand parenting is hard. 17-year-old, that's a kid, man, 17. If you have a child or teenager, or if you have one that was 17, you understand. That's a pretty tricky age, okay? It could be, yeah, it can make you, boy, you might lose your religion on a couple days. I get it. But there's no 17-year-old child in my house gonna be walking around. I'm not getting you an AR-15. For what? I tell you what, you want an AR-15? We're gonna go down to the recruiting station and I'm gonna put your ass in the Army Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marines. That's what we're gonna do. So you want to play you want to play soldier, you want to play Army, okay, we're gonna put you in the real deal. Straight to the recruiter. Sign on the dotted line, raise your hand, take the oath, and take the gun with you. Take your ass overseas somewhere. No, you're not doing that in my house. But his mother co-signed on that. And then he murdered 2 people. Talking about he was trying to help out. So he deputized himself. But you know why he deputized? He deputized himself because America has a history of white men deputizing themselves, especially when it comes to policing black bodies and black people. The slave code, as a matter of fact, listen, how do you think local policing came into effect? All right. They called them slave patrols. These were basically just men who lived in a certain community or town who deputized themselves to go out to go after and recover the slave owner's property, i.e. the enslaved people. No law, nothing, just deputized them damn selves. And they were able and allowed to get away with it, especially after the end of Reconstruction around 1877, yes. Because basically Reconstruction went from the end of the Civil War, 1865 to 1877. So it's just been some really crazy courtroom drama. So apparently the closing arguments in the Kyle Rittenhouse trial is gonna start probably Monday. And for all my political junkies, well-known, celebrated white nationalists, they call them alt-right, basically straight up white nationalists, racist, treasonous, insurrectionist, Steve Bannon. Oh yeah, guess what? He got indicted. His ass has to report to jail on Monday. Now Steve Bannon is Orange Hitler's, he was one of Orange Hitler's main dudes, and he would be on this website, Breitbart, just basically just a really evil, bad dude, has been espousing racism, anti-Semitism, sexism, misogyny, you name it, hate in all its forms. He is like the ringleader. But see, karma is real. I keep telling you all, karma is real, like my grandfather said, Conway Jones. Oh, just keep living, partner. What you do in life, it'll catch up with you, or you'll catch up to it. You know, you might think you're getting away for a long time, and all of a sudden one day, bam! And you like, then you find Jesus, Allah, Buddha, you find some God. Oh Lord, why is this happening to me? Oh, you didn't think about that when you was out there doing your dirt and doing people wrong and inciting violence and promoting hate and misogyny and sexism. Yes, karma. Karma is real, and karma does not discriminate. Karma is not racist, sexist, homophobic, transphobic, none of that. It's not misogynistic, it ain't sexist. Karma is just karma. Ladies and gentlemen, let me bring her on camera. I don't want to waste no more time. Highlight of my Friday, really the highlight of my week in many cases, my cohort, and I call it Good Trouble. On camera, you see her right there, media personality, very talented, professor, businesswoman, entrepreneur, just the old school saying, say a jack of all trades. She would be a Jill or a Keela of all trades. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only Miss Keela Carson.
Hey, Geno. Hey, everybody. Happy Friday to everybody. And Geno, you know I'm not a Jill of all trades. You know I know 2 things, being a professor and media. The only 2 things on the planet I know. If I had to flip a burger, I'd flip out.
Well, I said many. I just say all.
Right.
She's being modest, ladies and gentlemen. And listen,
many too.
Shout out. Go ahead and shout out those Zetas, because you all had the big
Oh,
one.
yes.
Let's do that off the top.
So my chapter, Upsilon Psi Zeta chapter, Oak Park, Michigan, we celebrated our 15th charterversary. So that's when your chapter is actually chartered. So it's been 15 years, and we are going strong. So we celebrated yesterday. 11/11/06 is when we were chartered. So happy 15 to those Oak Park Zetas.
So now, for those who never joined a sorority or fraternity, explain to us exactly what does it mean when you say chartered. I have an idea, but just explain it
Yeah.
to me.
So you have the bigger sorority as the umbrella, but for Zetas, and it's different for all of the Divine Nine, the way they decide to have chapters, right? So you have the larger sorority, but then you have to have a place for the individuals to meet and do the work of the community. So you have to have chapters. And so groups of people, in our case, it's women, will get together and decide they want to charter a chapter. So basically, it's like starting a business in an area. You get your name. In our case, our name is Upsilon Psi Zeta, but we're up under Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. And so you get all of the information, the bank accounts, the 501c3s. I mean, it is a business.
I see. Wow.
Yes. And one of the great things about a chapter is that you are close to your community, but it also gives, once you graduate from college, a place for the undergraduates who became members in college to then continue their work once they graduate. And that is key in the NPHC. I'm sorry. Because
Which is
a
what?
lot of sororities,
Those letters stand for what? MPHC.
The National Panhellenic Council.
Okay.
Okay. And so the National Panhellenic Council, which is the governing body of the Divine Nine,
Okay.
the black, historically black sororities and fraternities, that is ours, right? What they do is they govern the 9 sororities and fraternities. And what you do is, in that case, you say, okay, we have these laws and rules that we have to follow, but we're going to do it after we graduate college. Okay. That is the distinction in what the Divine Nine does and what other fraternities and sororities do. We do most of our work after we graduate from college, not during college. And that is key. So that means we are in the community. We are soldiers. We are, foot to the ground. We are there making sure people eat, making sure people are clothed, making sure that individuals like Kamala Harris get nominated to the vice presidency. So
and
that
elected.
is
And elected.
and elected. And that is why we are so huge in setting up these chapters once you come out of college, so that you have somewhere to go and continue that work.
Gotcha.
So when you charter a chapter, that is very important business in the survival of the Divine Nine and the work that it does. I hope that made sense.
Thank you, Professor. You did a great job. Hey, real quick, I want to shout out all of the veterans. Yesterday was Veterans Day. If you missed it, I had a great show. Master Sergeant Roy Gray and retired Marine. Master Sergeant Roy Gray is a retired Marine. He was a Master Sergeant in the Marine Corps for over 20 years. And also, my other guest was another retired Marine. He is currently the fire chief for Phoenix, Illinois, which is a just south of Chicago, one of the southern suburbs or suburb on the south side just outside of the city limits, but it's a south side suburb, I guess you could say. And he's the fire chief. So great conversation, great interview. Shout out to all of our veterans, and happy birthday to the United States Marines. Wednesday, they celebrated their 246th birthday. So
wow.
I just want to throw them in there real quick. Like DJ Cassidy Key, I'm passing you the mic. It was a crazy week. What you got?
Okay, so just a point of clarity. Rick Schroeder was the star of that show, The Silver Spoon.
Right. Okay. Right.
Yeah, and so I just want our audience to know
what did I say?
It.
What show did I say?
I think you said Family Matters.
Oh, did I? I didn't mean it. Thank you.
Yeah, but that's okay.
That's
the
what you
Silver
got my back.
Spoon.
Yeah. It was one of them shows. 'Cause I didn't watch either one of them. So.
Okay. So Silver Spoon, if you don't remember, that's where Alfonso Ribeiro got his start. Well, I mean, he started in the Pepsi commercial doing the Michael Jackson thing, but his first acting job was on that show. He was the buddy, the best friend.
Right.
And then I just want a point of clarification for the Proud Boys. The Proud Boys would say, we are not a white supremacist group. We have people of color. As a matter of fact, their mouthpiece at one point was an African American, well, a mix.
Afro-Latino, yeah.
Yes, thank you. And so they would say, no, we're not about white supremacy. We're about America first, about protecting the sanctity of, what the governing body of, America said we should be. Blah, blah, blah.
Point of clarification.
It's all hate.
Right.
It's hate to me.
Let me say this, Keith. Point of clarification for the Proud Boys. Black folks can basically, they can espouse and engage in the ideology of white supremacy. You have black people who can look at other black people.
You're correct.
Through the prism of white supremacy. Yeah. So, listen, I could do roll call. I'm not going to do that today because Keith's got the mic, but I'm just...
Geno is being nice. What he's saying is Uncle Tom. We all know Uncle Tom. And so that's what Geno is.
Or was it Remus? Because they should really Uncle Tom was Uncle Tom. It was Remus was the real problem.
Yeah.
If you saw Django, the movie Django.
Oh honey. Samuel Jackson's role.
Steven.
Woo! Child.
Now there you go.
Yeah, he made me want to kill myself. I was like, what is going on? I mean, I'm either going to have to kill him or myself to continue watching this movie.
Listen, Steven was worse than Mr. Candyman. He was worse than Leonardo DiCaprio. Even Leonardo DiCaprio's character, Candyman, was like, wow, gee.
Wow.
I thought I was racist. My God.
Right.
The Negro's worse than me.
So, yes, it is quite possible to have misguided individuals in an organization, such as the Proud Boys, which we were talking about. But to get to the business of the week and what you were mentioning during your monologue, this is just, what is his name? Lemony Snicket's a week of unfortunate events. It is like, what's really going on? And you mentioned it is 2021. We are on our way to 2022. And you have a lawyer, Kevin Go, and I tell you where he need to go.
Hell, I'll say for
right, go to
straight to hell. Do not pass go. Don't collect $200. Don't collect 2 cents. Take your ass just the express.
Straight.
Right, the express nonstop.
Who stands up in America in 2021 and says, enough of these black pastors sitting up in this, we don't need these black folks these pastors sitting up in the courtroom. You cannot, there is no legal precedent, no legal anything that gives you the power as an attorney to dictate, even as a judge, to dictate the makeup of the spectators in the courtroom. People have a right to have their family. Nobody's saying, well, oh my goodness, you've got too many Latinos, too many white people, too many, Asian people. When did we start doing that?
And get your black people straight. Okay, Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, kind of almost the same complexion. Really don't look alike.
Stop it, Geno.
Really, they are. They're almost about the same complexion.
I know, but stop it.
One is short and it's got a James Brown perm, and one is tall and got curly hair. But we all look alike anyway. So.
But that's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, and I know exactly why he did that. He did that for effect. He knew that doing it would have nothing to do with actually changing who sat in that courtroom.
Right.
Okay, so that's that. We call it overplay for the underplay,
or distraction,
distraction. Let me throw something out there and get a rise out of the people, to help maybe influence something one way or the other. We don't need all these black folks up in here, these black pastors. We got two is enough. I mean, that is tantamount to those old rules where if more than two black people are congregating together, it's a problem.
Because, you know, I'm glad you went there, Keela, because let's educate the viewers who don't know. Right after, once again, right after Reconstruction, basically, the 15th Amendment that gave black people, 14th and 15th Amendment, gave Africans, freed slaves, freed enslaved people. There were clauses, and then they came up with laws that were called the Black Codes. And one of the Black Codes were if more than two black people were seen standing on a corner, street, anywhere, congregating, talking, that by law they could be arrested.
Right.
These were laws on the books.
Right. Because they were plotting to do something.
Yes.
Okay.
They were.
And so that's why you had people meeting in secret, in churches, in people's homes and basements, in order to just talk. Forget about overthrowing anything. They just wanted to talk and be together.
And survive the racism, the lynching, the Jim Crow laws, and try to plan a future and try to find some way toward freedom. And wait a minute, black pastors intimidating the jury?
Come on, dude. Come on. Really? So, I'm almost speechless. When I heard that, my mouth just fell open and I wanted to scream. And then as far as the other case, the Rittenhouse case, I mean, you got a judge. I mean, he is the equivalent to a Looney Tune.
I think he's auditioning for his own show, or either Fox.
What show is that?
News Nation. Well, they'll create one for him. Like they got Judge Judy, Judge Racy, as in Judge Racist.
Judge Cuckoo?
Yeah. Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Key.
What is going on with our stewards of the law?
Right. And I don't know, did you see the video today when he was in court, talking about
the Asian food, about the Chinese food?
No, that racist statement. No. So today, because the prosecution wanted to use, they were going to use some, I guess, video or still.
Oh yes.
They got some videos, but the judge is saying, well, no, you can't use that. It's not accurate because if you to blow it up to see it up close, it's not going to, like somehow that to enlarge a photo means that what you looking at wasn't really there.
Right.
Dude.
Or what you're looking at will somehow influence you.
Right. Or he was trying to say, well, see now, if you enlarge it, then it'll change it. So whatever that image is, it ain't really the real image if it's enlarged. And he was trying to explain it, talking about, text. Key, I swear the dude sounded like he was
This is
wrong.
The equivalent to the big black man.
Yes, exactly. There you go.
Because you're tall, you're muscular, or whatever, you're somehow intimidating.
Just black bodies.
What is going?
Men, women, children. Tamir Rice was 12 years old, Key. And one of the police officers is like, well, I thought he was adult. Stop. You thought a 12-year-old boy was an adult? Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, it's but yet a big Caucasian man, he is to be respected and heard and revered. It's getting to the point of lunacy. And I do think mental health is so necessary, and these individuals who are locked in these echo chambers, however you want to pronounce it, of their own world, they got to get out, because their socialization is feeding, the socialization of just their likeliness, being together with, let me just put it out there. All white people being together is a dangerous thing.
Now, it's funny you mentioned
because they're not getting any diversity.
But it's self-segregation. So
Well,
here's
absolutely, Gino.
let me throw this
But
number out here.
that is to me a real mental or potential mental problem.
And it's a recipe for, it could be a recipe for really even more disaster than we're seeing now. So here's a fun fact. 3/4 of all white people in America live in what's termed, now I feel like Keelan now, I feel like I'm a professor, in homogenous communities.
Yes.
That means they
Yes.
live in all white neighborhoods. Intentionally.
Yes.
3/4, 75% of all white Americans live in an all white neighborhood.
Yeah, see, when you're not, listen, black people are just as guilty. I mean, we go to church. You know what the church looks like in the black communities on Sunday. We have neighborhoods, but the difference is we have been forced to deal and to socialize with people of different races.
Yeah,
just as a means of survival.
Black
we can't go to work without
interacting with white people.
Exactly.
And let's be honest. Black people in America collectively never self-segregated. They didn't. I mean, you have cases like you have, and even when they did, like in Tulsa, or you got Wilmington, North Carolina. They did that out of survival because they weren't allowed to move into white neighborhoods. So
right. They were building their own wealth.
And they were forced to because they couldn't get loans to finance a home. They couldn't get mortgages. They couldn't get homeowners insurance. They couldn't get any kind of loan from the bank.
Which by the way, Jewish Americans have been doing that since I can't even put a date on it. I have never known, and this is even before the horrific Holocaust. Jewish people have always had their own communities, their own financial institutions, or means of backing themselves financially. They support each other. They don't talk about it, but you better believe that when they go to the cleaners, 9 times out of 10, it's a Jewish cleaner. When they go to get their suits tailored, 9 times out of 10, that tailor is Jewish. When they are doing business, they are doing business with each other. The Asians, same way.
And Keith, when you talk about the Jewish community, because this would apply to not just Jews, but Italians and the Irish in America.
Yeah.
Because and I've said this many times on this show, that if you go back and look at anti-immigration laws in the late 1800s, those were anti-immigration laws to keep Jews and the Irish and Italians and Chinese out of America. So they were forced in, as a matter of fact, the whole term ghetto came from Jewish neighborhoods, not black neighborhoods. All right?
Right.
They were Jewish. They were called Jewish ghettos.
Yeah. And a ghetto, by the way, for all those who, don't know, it's not about, it's not a negative. A ghetto is just simply meaning a group of individuals who live together, live in the same, community, that are alike. And somehow that was associated with negativity, because the truth of the matter is Brunswick, Georgia is a ghetto. Now, are we understanding that? That is where Ahmaud Arbery was gunned down and murdered. He was murdered in a ghetto. Thank you.
And just minding his business, just exercising.
It's an all-white community.
Yep. So we just thought
okay.
So it's been a lot of courtroom drama.
Oh my goodness. So this week I like I said, I almost wanted to throw my TV out of the window. I was horrified. But in some other news, let's get some other news in, Geno, before you have to run. I want to acknowledge and give offer condolences on behalf of the Geno Jones show to the family, the Sheard family, i.e. Karen Clark Sheard.
Wow.
Her father-in-law, Bishop John Sheard, who is was very high up in the Kojic Church of God in Christ. He passed away on Wednesday. His wife passed away during COVID. They both had COVID, and COVID or his symptoms from that. But he passed away Wednesday, and so here the family is going through another loss. So, this is a big thing in the church community, especially because the son, Jeju Sheard, Karen Clark Sheard's husband, is now the presiding bishop of the Kojic Church.
Wow. So thank you for that key. And
yes, so I did want to add that. Also, we were talking about Alfonso Ribeiro being, on Silver Spoon with crazy Ricky Schroeder.
Little Carl from the Fresh Prince.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Yes.
Ass dance.
Loved it. Well, listen. Will Smith's book, Will, is out this week. Woo. And let me tell you something. Treat yourself if you can. And if you do it now. And Geno is going to tell you why later. But if you do it now, on audiobook, you can get it, Will, and the name of the book is Will, Will. You can get the book, of course, in a physical form. But I would get the audiobook because Will Smith is reading his book, and it is a performance and a story like none I have encountered in a long time. And I'm an avid reader.
Wow.
Avid reader. And he has taken an audiobook to a different level.
Really?
I mean, you're talking about music. You're talking about his performance in some cases. But then the story is good. The story of his life and what you thought might have been Will Smith, but what the truth of Will Smith is. You gotta get this audiobook. Please get the audiobook so you can enjoy it.
So he's added like production elements.
Yes.
Which is nobody done that really.
Right, and you have some audiobooks that try to add a little, juice in it, a little color, a little production, and the words of we who are in media. But Will, it's altogether something different. It is like when you used to listen to the radio and they had the programs on radio when you were a kid. And how theatrical they were.
Yeah, really big in the 30s and 40s before TV became popular.
Yes. The Dark Knight and all that stuff.
All the radio, they were like soap operas before they went on TV. Your soap, as a matter of fact, especially the soap operas that's been around for a long time, those soap operas started off on the radio.
Oh, that's right. So this book is so... I think it gives you perspective on maybe some of the things that you're struggling with. Will puts himself out there. He talks about his failures. He talks about why. He talks about his father, the complexity of his mother and father and that relationship, how it affected him, his brothers and his sisters. It is really the Jada, okay, and his first wife. What is it, Cherie? I believe is his first wife.
Cherie.
Yeah. The kids. I mean, he goes in and it's honest. At least you feel that it's honest. But yet it's this combination of laughter. You get to laugh. You get to enjoy some music, some rapping. You get to enjoy some theater. Because I didn't even know that's where he kind of started with this. So I think it's a great book, but I would get it audiobook. Okay.
Wow. Okay. Well,
And if
he need to he need to cut you a check as a pitch woman. You talking about pitch woman influencer? Because hell, you
well,
sold his
Gino,
book better than he does.
we like to keep the audience kind of in tune with what's being released, what's going on,
Yeah.
what to watch, and I like to be truthful about something of quality, and the pitch is not necessarily the pitch is what will it do for you.
Yeah, and I'm having fun with you, but because
but really,
I've seen some excerpts from the book,
yes.
and he talked about what he was going to do to his dad, and I can kind of relate, not directly, because I didn't have that issue with my dad per se, but there was somebody else that it was going to be, he was going to have a real problem. So I can relate to that. And then he talked about, without giving everything away, he was really in it, and this is no secret, it's been talked about, but I know he goes into detail. He was really in his feelings and insecure about Pac and Jada's friendship.
He
was.
I won't even touch that because I want people to enjoy it.
Yeah, he was feeling some kind of way, as they say on the streets.
Well, as he should have. But we're gonna let you
we'll tell you that.
And experience all of that. But the great thing is that you think that's what's going to excite you. You're waiting on the salacious components with Jada and the family structure and all of that. But I mean, you are locked in from go. You are locked in from go. As a matter of fact, I think you're going to maybe find that the relationship between him and his father, which you mentioned, is probably the most telling, most influential, and the biggest reason why we have Will Smith. Yeah. Wow. So, and he talks about that ego of it. I mean, it is good. It is good.
And he talks about him and Jada's sex life. So I guess he said, you know what, I'm gonna do my own red table talk, but I'm gonna put it in his audio book.
Listen, he said to Oprah Winfrey, because Oprah interviewed him before the book came out. He told Oprah that, listen, he took 2 weeks and took his family off to some place, some location, and he had to read the book to them. And he said it was excruciating. He said because he wanted all of them to know what's getting ready to come out. So
did he say, I didn't see that interview on Oprah, did he say why he did it, or does he even mention in the book or the audio book why and why now?
He had been going through this journey or this evolution of self, let's call it that, getting to the core of oneself for many years.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Which is normal. I mean, we all should be seeking to discover our true purpose. And so right now he can talk about it, because when you're trying to get to purpose, you don't have time to talk. You need to be figuring out what the purpose is. So you're doing the work. And right now he feels comfortable enough to talk about the work that he did, because in addition to it helping others, before he, is called on to glory and joins the other saints, he wants to tell his story so that people know that it's not just about popping up one day and parents just don't understand and you're a superstar. He wants you to know about all of the things in between that made that moment, and how that moment was even derailed and connected with what you might be going through in your life.
Okay, wow. Keela Carson, Will Smith. I don't have her routing number, but I would have. As a matter of fact, don't even have your agent, don't have your manager. You need to call Keela and say, first of all, say, well, damn, sister, thank you. Second of all, what's your routing number?
Yeah.
And is it going to checking or savings?
Right. Checking, please.
Right, and then
Business
and it's
accounts.
like, do you have your laptop? You got on. Go on, look at your account. I'm about to hit send, and let me know when you see received.
Thank you. Okay. And so finally, Gino, before I get out of here, I would like to also mention the Netflix movie Passing that is out. And if you don't know the term passing, it was I don't know. There are people still passing today, even passing for black.
Actually, that's
But
true. But it
you
started
remember?
off passing. You have really light, fair-skinned black people,
That's right.
maybe straight hair, who were passing as white people.
That's right. And so a movie called Passing is on Netflix. If you like to check that out, it takes place in Harlem. And two girlfriends who grew up together run into each other. They have a chance meeting, and one of them has been passing for white, while the other has been dealing with the rigors and the heartache and the challenges of living as a black in that era.
So, Key, what era?
This is
I wanted to ask.
this is the Harlem Renaissance
Oh,
era.
so we talking about like the 20s, 1920s.
Yes. When and Harlem is kind of becoming this really cool place to be and a cool place for the thinkers to congregate. You
Poets,
have
authors, musicians.
yes,
It
of
was
all colors, kind of meetings in secret to share and exchange ideas. So this is the era. And what happens is that one of them, and I won't say which one, says a change has got to take place.
So
So
you had actresses Ruth Negga,
yes, and Tessa
and
Thompson, I believe.
Tessa Thompson.
Yes, and is Ruth British? Is she?
That I don't know. I would be lying.
Yeah, I
if
think
said that.
Ruth is British. And then Tessa Thompson. So yes, that is Passing on Netflix.
So yeah, I heard some people talking about it. Said it was very well done. I heard one person was saying, it seemed like there was, maybe a little sexual tension between Ruth Negga's character and Tessa Thompson. Is it a love story or is it a story about Pat? That was one person's opinion. I see you nodding your head.
Well, there is definitely tension, and it's coming from
That
a
kind
few.
of tension?
I would. That's not what I
You
picked
would
up.
say sexual tension, okay.
I didn't pick up sexual, but I did pick up there is this jealousy,
Oh.
and you can see it. I mean, imagine one person has been able to live their life under the radar and benefit from all of the white privilege,
Bingo.
right? But then on the other side, the other person has been able to live their truth and live in that
Oppression.
authentic, exciting world of being a black person. Because despite what anybody might think, hello people, it's fun to be black. I like it.
I love it. I wouldn't
I
change
love it. I love the way we interact at family events, and I love the way we dance, and I love our music, and so imagine having passed all of your life and not being able to participate in the world in which you grew up in. So she was missing it.
And let me say this, Key, because I guess I got to piggyback on what you were just saying about how you love. I love being black. I love
Yes.
our culture, our music, our slang, our fashion, just our swag, our style. But guess what? The world loves it.
Yes.
Because we are the term now like tastemakers. We are the cultural trendsetters. The trends that you see that start in the hood, the whole world picks up.
And have been for years.
Listen, jazz. You wouldn't have rock and roll without black music, okay?
Yeah.
You wouldn't have country music.
That's right.
country music basically is blues music by white dudes with a southern accent.
And rhythm and blues was looked at differently. Now, when we look at R&B, we think immediately, our African American performers. But rhythm and blues was really the blues and country.
And like I said, country music.
That we started.
Right. You had black artists. Do your research. Black artists back in the early 1900s that were quote unquote, they were blues artists.
Yes.
White dudes were listening and said, hey, wait a minute, we got something here. And they started, white dudes with southern accents. And all of a sudden you had this country music in Nashville. Do your homework.
Yes.
So the world loves art. We set the trends. Art, music, fashion, you name it. We are the trendsetters in what comes out of our culture, what grows out of these, as people call them, ghettos and poor neighborhoods, with the style, our way of expressing ourselves through music, art, dance, sports, you name it, comedy, you name it. The world loves it and eats it up. Everybody, listen, suntans and women, trying to look like Meg the Stallion and sticking needles in their ass and needles in their lips and everything and trying to, they put perm in their hair so it'll like kink up and getting skin cancer laying out in the sun. So love everything about black people but black people. Now how sick is that?
Something?
Love everything about black people, black culture, art, fashion, music, you name it. Dance. Everything.
It's like
but hate.
It's like cultural jacking.
Yes.
I mean that's all you can that's all you can say.
That's a drop.
They culturally jack us, but then want to throw the person to the wolves, to the side, cast them aside. But give me all your style, your music, your everything, your food. Okay? Because if you go to the South, honey, Caucasians down there eating cornbread and watermelon, biscuits.
Fried chicken more than black folks. They love it.
Look at Paula Deen. Her whole career is based on the foods that we made popular, but yet she took the time to call us the N-word. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing to profit off of our culture and then denigrate us.
I am standing here in the Charleston, South Carolina metro. I've been here 16 and a half years, okay? The quote-unquote soul food restaurants in the South, the majority of them, you'll see more white folks in there than black folks. I'm just letting you in on the secret. I know, because I go in there. I'm like, okay.
Okay, grits.
Man, please.
Stuff
that I don't even mess with grit. Man, that's a whole nother show.
That's another mood, another show.
That's a whole nother show. Yes, but I the world, like I said, the world loves everything about, the African culture. We'll have to do a show about China and the communist Chinese government and their presence in Africa, including their military. Come on now. We'll save that show for another day. We better wake up.
Well, okay, so Geno, I think it's time for you to talk about what we're doing for the holidays.
Okay, no, I'm going to do it on, let's see, okay, the 20, I'm looking, because I don't have my calendar in front of me. The 19th is next Friday, 20.
Okay.
So that would be the 22nd, Key. That Monday would be the 22nd. Next Friday,
next
Friday's the 19th. Next Saturday is the 20th. So Monday, November 22nd. That will be the Monday before
Stay tuned, everybody.
I got a major announcement.
Geno has got a directive for the holiday.
I want to, I'm going to issue a challenge to all of Black America, including myself and my family. Let me shout out brother Joe Madison. So Joe Madison is a radio legend and icon. He is in the Radio Hall of Fame. He does a radio show on Sirius XM satellite radios, Urban View, channel 126. He comes on in the morning. So he is doing a hunger strike. No solid food until the government, until Congress until they all vote for either the John Lewis Voting Rights Act or the Freedom to Vote Act. Everybody vote on it, thumbs up, give it to President Biden. He signs the bill. Until that bill has been signed off on by the president, he is on a hunger strike. He is not going to eat any solid foods. He's done stuff like this before with Dick Gregory. He and Dick Gregory were very close. So shout out to brother Joe Madison. I have no problem shouting the brother out because he's putting the work in, and there's enough platforms for all of us, and we can all eat. So I support what the brother's doing, and I've had this conversation about how can we really get people's attention. And I think it's important because this voting rights thing, if we don't protect the right to vote, man, you can forget about all these other rights. If you think,
it doesn't matter.
If you think three hillbillies in a pickup truck feeling bold and will chase a brother jogging, not just in Georgia, but anywhere, and shoot him in the chest and talking about, well, we were going to make us. Now, all of a sudden, all these white people you got white teenagers. Well, I wanted to make a citizen's arrest. Like, I could say it, but I respect my mother. But who in the blank, who in the F died and left you in charge? You the self-appointed
sheriff.
What you top flight security now?
Right.
You done deputized yourself to, well, I want to make a citizen's arrest. If you think it's bad now, if the Voting Rights Act is not protected, we don't protect the right to vote, then there'll be laws. It'll be modern day slave code laws again. You all may think that I'm being hyperbolic, exaggerating. I am not. You better wait, like Spike Lee said in the movie, wake up. So I'm gonna issue, thank you, Key, for
so I'm not trying, I don't want you to give it away, but I just want the viewers to know that
Monday, May 20, not May, I'm thinking about my birthday.
Yeah.
Monday, November 22nd.
Yeah.
All right.
And so stay tuned because there will be a practical way for you to participate in making sure that you have the rights that you were born with.
So, and I'm not going to give it away, but I'm going to say this because I've talked about it on the show. There is one surefire way to get people's attention, especially people with money and power. And I'm going to talk about how we're going to get their attention. This is a guaranteed, surefire way. We don't have to beg and plead and yell and scream and cuss. We ain't got to do any of that. I'm going to tell you.
We don't even have to leave the house.
Say that, Key. But get ready, put it on your calendar. Major announcement. It's going to be a different kind of holiday. That's all I'm going to say. It's going to be a different kind of holiday.
And I'm down with it.
That sounds like a movie. It's going to be a different kind of holiday, y'all. Yeah.
I'm down with it.
Yeah.
And I'm so down with it. I hope that you make this
annual,
national, ongoing
I'm going to
movement.
try. You all, so everybody watching, just help it go viral because I'm serious about this because this will not... If we could pull this off, Key, it won't just affect our right to vote. People will really, really
wake up,
start to listen, and not just listen and be like, okay, what's wrong?
Do something.
There's really a problem. We didn't realize it was them. You're upset. You're really upset. What can we do to fix it? So I'm gonna tell you how we can make sure we get people's attention so they can fix it. So we don't have to keep talking and begging and pleading. It's like, no, if y'all don't fix it, then we're gonna fix something else.
There you go.
It's gonna be a different kind of holiday in 2021. Keela Carson, ladies and gentlemen, simply the best. Key, I know mother's watching. She probably tried to post something out. I'm looking over in the the live chat. I don't see anything. She probably posted it, but it's not showing up. I love you. Thank you, my sister. Love and
Love
respect.
you too.
Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week. Ladies and gentlemen, the incomparable Keela Carson. I can't wait yet. So Monday, November 22nd, I got a major announcement. So make sure and tell everybody. They really watch this and every episode and subscribe to the channel. But that one is going to be major. Thank you for letting me be a part of your life. As always, God bless each and every one of you. God, most of all, thank you for letting me do the Geno Jones Show. I come to you live Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Central, 3:30 p.m. on the West Coast. Please, you and everybody you know and everybody you don't know, everybody you like, love, hate, can't stand, doesn't matter, don't know, strangers, aliens, please subscribe to the Geno Jones channel. Please share this and every, or as my man Nelly would say, every episode, like everybody, every episode of the Geno Jones Show, and like every episode. Thank you for watching. I love each and every one of you. Mother, you know I love you more than life itself. Shout out to Mr. Markel Bailey, the official barber and hairstylist for the Geno Jones Show. Check him out on Instagram, KLB Cutting Up, KELBECUTTINUP. Alexandria Jones, Allie Jones, the official wardrobe consultant and stylist for the Geno Jones Show. Check her out on Instagram. Underscore is the line at the bottom in the front. So the little line at the bottom. Underscore Lexie, LEXXIE, space, one space over, Nicole, NICOLE, underscore Lexie, space Nicole Designs, and Bruce Gage, wardrobe consultant and stylist. He's on Instagram or Facebook. Just in the search box, type in Bruce, BRUCE, Gage, GAGE. Make sure you do that. All right, everybody, it is time for me to get out of here. Oh, by the way, the Geno Jones Show brought to you, I know there was something I almost forgot. Today and all next week, the Geno Jones Show is brought to you by Soulful Connection, Southern Soul Blues R&B group. They got a brand new album, BYOB, and the Geno Jones Show brought to you today and next week by Soulful Connection's brand new album, BYOB, and their album listening party happening November 19th right here in the North Charleston area, a venue called La Creme. Free admission. Oh, by the way, that's important. Free admission, 8 o'clock, everything's gonna jump off. Free admission. So spread the word. Have a great weekend, everybody. Lakers, let's go Lakers. Happy birthday, Russell Westbrook, once again. The next live edition of the Geno Jones Show is going to be happening Monday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. In the meantime, don't forget, like I said, you and everybody you know and don't know, please subscribe to my channel. And this weekend is a good weekend to go back and binge watch all of my previous episodes and all of my great guests and all of my fire monologues. One final thing before I get out of here. As always, I like to say, be blessed. Thanks for watching.
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of The Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation.